Welcome to the Manna at the Tap podcast, where we embark on a shared journey looking into the spiritual nourishment we need for our souls. I'm Gloria, your fellow traveler on this spiritual path. As a community, we'll explore our daily manna, offering insights and interpretations to foster our spiritual growth. We are into the fourth week after Pentecost. Today is Thursday, June 20th, 2024. We first meet Saul, the people's choice, when he's appointed king over Israel, their first king. He was tall, dark, handsome, a military leader, and very popular with the people. But that was all about the external. He turned out to be a person who was not willing to be guided by Samuel, and he busied himself doing the things that were not his to do. His humility before being crowned king gave way to a life of disobedience, causing him to lose favor with the Lord. Samuel is at a loss as to what to do next. And as we open 1 Samuel 16, there's a dialogue between the Lord and Samuel, who asked Samuel, "How long will you grieve for Saul, as I have already rejected him as king?" Then the Lord gave Samuel specific instructions to go to Jesse's house in Bethlehem, because this time it would be the Lord who was going to choose one of Jesse's sons. Samuel was afraid that Saul might hurt him when he found out what Samuel was about to do. God acknowledged Samuel's real feelings and did not ignore them, but he addressed them by giving him specific instructions. And I quote, "And Samuel did what the Lord commanded." Sometimes we voice our fears to the Lord, who acknowledges them and does not ignore them. But then we are instructed on what to do next. We, like Samuel, we need to be obedient to God rather than be afraid of a perceived threat of what someone will do to us. Samuel clasped his eyes on Jesse's firstborn and thought, this would be the next king. But Samuel was basing that on his height and appearance. The Lord told Samuel that people look at outward appearance, but the Lord looks at a person's heart. Jesse had his 7 sons pass before Samuel, but the oil would not pour out of the horn, leaving Samuel to wonder and to ask Jesse if he had any more sons. Oops, Jesse had forgotten his last-born child, David, who was out tending the sheep. Samuel asked that David be called, and when he came in, he was small in stature, still a teenager, glowing with health and handsome features. The Lord told Samuel this was the one, and Samuel anointed David in the presence of his perplexed brothers. And I quote, "And the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully on David from that day forward." In the lectionary text for today, 1 Samuel 16, verses 14 to 23, the Spirit of the Lord has left Saul and has been replaced with a terrorizing spirit, making him and everyone around him miserable. His servants recommended that he hire a skillful player on the harp to soothe his soul. And then another servant recommended David, Jesse's son. Saul liked the idea, and he requested Jesse to send David. Jesse did, along with gifts for the king. But I wonder if Jesse realized the Lord had not forgotten the son that he had forgotten. David was a musician, a warrior, and one who spoke well. And most importantly, the Lord was with him. After meeting David, Saul asked his father if he would remain in his service. He loved David and made him one of his armor bearers. And that signified really that Saul trusted David with his life. And whenever the evil spirit came on Saul, David would play music until Saul was refreshed and the evil spirit had left him. David, who had been appointed in private to be the next king, is now on the road to power. And at this time, Saul does not suspect that David has been anointed king as his replacement. But God, in his mercy and kindness, allowed David, whose name means beloved, to bring healing to Saul's mind as he listened to the music being played by David until the evil spirit departed. David became a life giver to Saul.